Testing, testing. Mic check. One, two, three. We'll be right back, guys. Hey, you will make it TV. Followers, viewers, supporters, and listeners across the globe. Thank you for tuning in to another live, insightful topics and relatable stories in 2026 with the You Will Make It TV channel. Please stay tuned. Remember to hit that golden subscribe bell. This way you will receive notifications when You Will Make It TV post new announcements, content, or live segments just like these. We're hoping you guys are having a very blessed Wednesday out there. And if it wasn't blessed, it's not too late, to turn your day around. Just tell yourself it's just a day, not a lifetime. But this is where we share inspirational quotes weekly. Feel free to tune in to any of our previously recorded segments just like these. I swear we got a juicy topic today, especially surrounding the realities. Like, why is there so many people who deny manipulation tactics or deception? Because deception is a two-way street. Or I guess it doesn't have to be. Some people deceive themselves. So then you can't call that kind of stuff MK Ultra, can you? Can you? When you self-sabotage, like nobody else had anything to do with it. My problem is trying to convince the world that everybody is self-sabotaging themselves. Everybody is just walking into traps. Everybody doesn't know how to look out for scammers. It's crazy to me. Like that narrative was only going to survive for so long anyway. People wanted to know what other factors were playing into um, these quote unquote submissive. Uh, you know, you can tell when people are submissive and when they're oppressed. I'm gonna say that again for the people in the back. You can tell the difference between natural, willing submission versus controlled oppression. And it needs to be talked about. Actually, right during these days and times, to me, is a great time for all podcasters, all reporters, I don't care who it is, all the media. I don't control the media, but I see what people are talking about when they say certain fouls and certain news stories are released, and suddenly people are distracted from other things that are probably even more critical. I mean, how are you okay waking up and going to sleep every night knowing that people are out there with power? We left off on the last topic about an example using the movie Men in Black, how they had this uh, device that could literally erase people's memory on contact. Talk about talk about possibilities of realities in movies. Like how is Men in Black not one of those that we're not talking about more than ever right now? People said because Teddy Sherry, we don't have to worry about right now. They don't have a device that can zap us and erase our memories. Well, maybe they don't have those, but they have other tactics. And I don't like that people use it for abusive purposes. Like the memories you want to keep, they want to use the zappy thing to erase those, and the memories you don't want, they want to force those upon you. Am I the only one that see this? Usually, memories are not something you can control unless you wake up that morning and say, "Hey, today I want to create a new memory." Like, why can't we create memories out of consciousness? You said, "Look, all my old memories might have been trauma, PTSD, a whole bunch of stuff." That doesn't mean you're sweeping it under the rug. That means you are choosing to create new memories so that you can function a little healthier in the head. And the day it becomes a crime to create new memories, let me know. Because just as busy as we could be trying to create that for our own selfish, I wouldn't say selfish, that's a good selfish, creating good memories for yourself. That's a sign of self love. That's the attribute of loving yourself. People think loving yourself is about going to get your toes and hair done and pedicures and uh, taking time. No, that's just called investing in yourself. And you can do that on a business level. You can invest into your physical attributes. That's just investing in yourself. Many people invest in themselves. How do they mean they love themselves? Anybody will go to the store and buy them some. Every time you purchase something, you're investing in yourself, whether you look at it that way or not. You've made up in your mind that you're going to invest in yourself no matter who does and who don't. I was going to give my perception on why society doesn't like those type of people. They're not easy to whip back into some mind control whirlwind when they are already at a level of creating new memories for themselves. I was trying to explain to people on the last segment that to me, MK control was not created just to control the mind in the present and the future. MK control wants to control your memories as well because they know that your memories oftentimes depict and give, you know, your perception on the world. Something as simple as a memory, it can shape your whole view on a certain topic, person, place, or thing in history. And today, just because your memory was bad with chocolate doesn't mean the 10,000 people who still love chocolate are gonna think. They'll probably be willing to listen to your story. Like, what was your bad experience with chocolate? That don't mean it didn't steal 20,000 more. They feel like they can trust chocolate. They love chocolate. Chocolate ain't never hurt them. You feel what I'm saying? So what would you do? They would more take that one that's complaining about the chocolate and try to either erase their memory or recreate their memory of chocolate just so that one person who has something against chocolate don't say nothing. That's crazy. You would think that kind of technology and power would only be used in the event of a war. You know what I'm saying? Like, why? That's going on a lot today too. People are so quick to show their hand. Like, look what I got. Look what I can do. Look where I can go. Look who I know. Look. That in itself, how is that in itself not mind control? You constantly trying to control the perception of what somebody else see you as. I don't care if you show off 3 horses, 5 Ferraris, and a big mansion. Now, let us see that for ourselves. If those are really things you possess, an outside person can see that for themselves. They have their own eyes, they have their own mind. But for you to have to actually look, like draw attention to the things you have. Number one, it's a sign of insecurity. It's telling your business without telling your business. Like clearly you've never had that. Because every time you get something, you showboating it on social media. You run into your homeboys to show them. You run into the people you think you can trust to show. Look what I am. Look what I became. No, we see those people building quietly too. We just don't bother them. But we look up to them as the more secure of the world. They not out here trying to show everybody what they got, what they trying to do, or what they lack at any given moment. You can easily fall into mind control tactics through things you wouldn't even believe. Like as far as the research and studies of where MK Ultra ideas came from, who invented it, and what's crazy, people should study it. When they first started doing MK Ultra experiments, controlled experiments, drugs were very much so involved. That's why people don't trust the narrative about drugs anymore. Just to let people know. You want us to believe drugs are so horrible and they do all these negative things to people, yet you use them in experiments to control people's minds. Make it make sense. That's telling in itself. That's telling in itself. That means a long time ago, humans started believing that as long as they have a person under the influence, because experiments showed them this, as long as they have a person under the influence, they could control their minds better. Even the MK Ultra scientists saw this. Okay, so stop just running around here trying to exploit who is and who ain't on drugs. Let's talk about how they got on them, who introduced them to them, who served them to them, and are they to be trusted? Because we know MK Ultra experiments prove That drugs alone put that person in a state where you can better to control them, like a controlled experiment. Nobody asked you to hook them on drugs. Nobody asked you to lace their beer or their drink. And until they can prove that, I'm making a very valid point here. Who wakes up and says, I want to choose this sexy man to drug me today? I want to choose this sexy woman and let her drug me and rob me. Like, who thinks that way? The average thinking man or woman does not imagine vain thoughts like that. The average thinking man and woman who has no MK Ultra effects or tactics surrounding them, you wouldn't be trying to force them to take a drink. They like, no, we don't have nothing to do with MK Ultra. You do. You play into it more than you think you do. When you keep stupid narratives going, for example, that one lie you just told is supposed to keep a person way across town under mind control, for example. That's why you want to watch what you feed into. Why is it so prominent that you keep this person believing this about themselves? Why is it so important to you that you keep this person dressed a certain way and they're a grown person? Why is it so important that, once again, how is you trying to control the image of another, not MK Ultra? Because how can you control the image of another without somehow controlling things about that person? You understand? And I guess they've already caught on to this. That's why they said, well, our last resort is identity theft. Because now we got to try to find creative ways to prove we haven't been using the ban or MK Ultra experiments. And I did say the word ban. Those experiments are supposed to be illegal. Even using mental psychological warfare on your own people. Oh, wow. Yeah, that says a lot. That says you care about them. That says you trust them and they trust you. Oh, yeah. Any country using MK Ultra control tactics. Oh, yeah. That makes you look really, really, uh, it makes you look nothing short. I mean, I know it's supposed to make you look superior. You want to hide that you're using MK Ultra control tactics to this day in modern day. How is that not psychological warfare? They say, oh, we scared the people who are trying to bring war. No, war has been waged on anybody who feel like they might have been under the oppression of MK Ultra. They're not looking for war. War was waged on them. Who signed a contract and said, yeah, you can do these experiments on my mind? Nobody signs contracts for that. People just think it's funny to be the one on the other side. They really feel empowered. Like, yeah, we control this person's mind. You are sick. They think those pedophiles are sick. Y'all probably thought it don't get no worse than pedophilia. It does. You got people that's out here using whole tools to control one's mind. How do you think pedophilia comes about? This person probably wasn't ever even attracted to children, but they want to put in 12 hours a day controlling a person's mind until they are. How is that not worse? You know, if you can't get a person to submit, just take over their mind. They're gonna submit. How is that not sick? So what it is, it's like the people that they see, because some will say, oh, some are strong, mentally stronger than others. I guess that's true. But it's like the mentally strong are really being hunted and sought after. Why? Maybe they use them to play into their efforts of controlling the minds of others. Why you think they chase people with influence? Why you think they chase people that they feel like people can trust? They like, oh, they'll sit back for a while too. Okay. These 10,000 people trust this person and what this person talk about and what this person does. Well, since we've now studied this person for 2 years and we understand how much influence and power they have, even when they're not trying, why don't we use this person? We see 10,000 people follow them, 250,000 subscribers follow them. Now all we got to do is get to the mind of that person. I'll try to figure out a way to control 10,000 when you can control the one person with the influence over the 10,000. It's so sad. What I'm saying is sad is that people can't trust each other anymore unless they feel like they have control over your mind. That's some crazy stuff. Like, who raised? America. Who raised them? Like, no, no, we can't trust you unless we have control over your mind. Why don't you let that person operate in their mind on their own frequency and see what happens? Because what is there to fear? What is there to cover up? What is there to be intimidated by? That's another thing. When you watching a TV show, for example, you don't like what's on that TV channel. You know what people used to do? That's how I know mind control is happening to people on mass levels, whether they admit it or not. But that'll be bigger than the Epstein files. I guarantee you. People will feel more invaded when they find out that their minds were literally being invaded through things like technology, social media algorithms. It doesn't matter. It might not be the tool they used on Men in Black to play with your memories, but they do have ways. The Bible said it first. Be not conformed, but be transformed for the renewing of your mind, as if God already knew. Uh, Species like mankind, one day they were going to get to the point where they feel like there's no limits, no statute of limitations or anything when it comes to the kind of experiments they want to do. God already knew. Man can become dangerous because when they start seeking power, oh man, like anybody is on the chopping block. But God just being powerful in his own right. You know what I'm saying? He allowed people to surrender on their own. It has, but of course, if they're trying to imitate God and they feel like God operates through people, through their third eye, or through their awakening areas or chakras or anything they feel like they can imitate and copy, they're going to do it. And MK Ultra, I guess, is the closest thing they have. It's like they were trying to mock God and be funny. Well, I can create a technology that sends people suggestive thoughts. No, let's be clear. When God speaks to somebody, that's not a suggestive thought. It's just simply called the voice of God. It's simply called the instruction of God. And it's supposed to be that person's free will, whether they surrender or not. So Sorry, guys, I had to take a slight pause break, but it's just amazing to think of the possibilities of what they use today to even keep this going. Ritualistic spells now, and the one who can do. I told y'all about my dream, how they had agents going through files, searching the globe, trying to find the strongest witch, as if their life depended on it. This was a dream, like their life depended on it. Like if we don't find the strongest witch, we are doomed. They weren't seeking God though; they were seeking the strongest witch. They weren't seeking the guidance of the wisest God. You know what I'm saying? They weren't seeking the guidance. Some of us do. And that's the only way we probably would make it through MK control efforts and experiments and stuff. It's crazy. But you want to say what we hear from God is a suggestive thought. No. What you try to place in a person's mind is a suggestive thought. Nobody should be in a child's mind, for example, but their parent. Raising them, guiding them, showing them the right way in life. But if you got a lot of outside influences that are throwing in mind control tactics too while you're trying to raise that child, then how can you still say mind control efforts do not exist? It's like they be literally doing this stuff in the broad daylight, and then we'll try to stand in the broad daylight and say, oh, no, we're not doing NK control experiments no more. Remember, those were banned, those are illegal. It's so many other things that are illegal people still do. If the Epstein files don't show you that, I'm tired of people saying because things are illegal, people are not doing it. Yeah, MK control experiments are illegal, but how does that mean people are not doing it? Stealing, robbing from banks is illegal. People still do it. You see what I'm saying? So how can you just say the existence of mind control programs and experiments are not here? It's getting so noticeable that people notice it. They didn't ask, they didn't sign a contract and say, hey, yeah, every Monday send me a suggestive thought that makes me feel like I can't believe in myself. No, you took it upon yourself. Once again, mind control idiots only expose their insecurities at the end of the day. The exact things you trying to control about somebody else's mind is where you don't feel strong with your own. That's weird. Because a person in full sync with their own mind would have absolutely no desire to overtake another mind with that kind of technology or power, unless, once again, like I said on the stream yesterday, you're trying to help somebody through memory therapy or help somebody through suppressed memories that they just can't get past or blocked memories that they're forcing themselves not to remember just so they can kind of get their life back together. That's the only thing mind control should be used for. And for some weird reason, I'm starting to think psychologists, therapists, they know more about that stuff than they be saying too. They're aware that what MK Ultra is. Like, how did you go to school to become a psychologist and you never learned about MK Ultra? I wouldn't believe you. So if you went to college to become some kind of therapist or counselor or psychologist, you definitely heard of MK Ultra experience before. You would definitely know the signs of somebody that's been placed under that as well. Somebody that's being oppressed by MK Ultra. You don't even need to be a therapist if you can't see that. That means you sit up here, you a part of the MK control program. You gonna tell this person they crazy too? You gonna tell this person, oh, you didn't have that memory, you didn't have that nightmare, you didn't have that dream, you didn't feel that paranoia that day, you weren't raped back then, you weren't slapped by that man that day. It's like that's sinister because you're practically, willingly joining the mind control efforts against that person by telling them that they don't know what they know. Any position in life you're in, you never fix your mouth to tell a person they don't know what they know. Now you're an MK Ultra coordinator as well. People are saying justice for the Epstein files. I'm still screaming justice for MK Ultra patients, especially the ones that didn't sign up for it. They didn't even ask for it. They didn't even know what's going on. They just knew, man, it's a really oppressive energy that seems to follow me everywhere I go and control what I think and control what people think about me. And until I see that stop, well, God has just earned a new advocate on the earth against MK control experiments and programs. And yes, I believe all victims of this should get the highest form of compensation possible. Because just as many victims as there are for MK control, mind control, there are also those that have never been through it at all. So you got to keep awareness raised about these things. Just like you got 10,000 that's been MK control before, there's 10,000 that never have been. So yeah, you continue to raise awareness. Like, hey, these might be some signs to look for. A person that's been placed under somebody's MK control. Here you go. Here's some signs to look for. This person contradicts themselves a lot. This person retracts their statements a lot. This person will start telling a story and then skip stories a lot. You know what I'm saying? Looking at clues like that, you'll just say, "Oh, this person bipolar. They can't keep up with their thoughts." Is it that, or is it MK mind control? Like you would think we have more people raising awareness about that, not just, "Oh, these are the signs of abuse." That's a little vague. We're thankful for that too, but it's a little vague. What kind of abuse are we talking? Because there's like so many different forms of abuse. So why don't you make a new list? These are all the forms of abuse, and these are the signs of it. And definitely add MK Ultra onto that list. Mentally manipulating somebody their whole life. How is that not abuse? People don't want to look at themselves. You're like, well, I'm not a scientist. There's no way I did MK control on that person. You don't have to be a scientist. That's the thing. You take on that form, you take on that energy, you take on the embodiment of somebody who wants to control the minds of people, playing into certain lies, playing into certain rumors, playing into certain beliefs. That too. That's why I want to be sure what I believe these days. And God knew what to do. Because I wouldn't even believe in God if he didn't show me surety that he was real. It's too many people playing with people's minds for me to just believe in God because somebody said I should. For me to just believe in God because somebody said he's God, he's the one you should fear. Because when I got to that level of life and just started fearing God because that's what people said I should do, I wasn't comfortable. That's why me and God relationship is way different. He knows how much it took to get me to trust him. And even then, I didn't even know much about MK Ultra. But because stuff like that out here exists, you gotta be sure in what you trust and believe in now. I mean, you should be like that anyway. But, if anybody needed encourage me, like, hey, what does it pay me to have my own mind? I can give you a million reasons. Or if you do one messed up thing, this is what people tell themselves to. What's the word I'm looking for? Validate their reasons for MKing somebody. They do it out of reasons like spite. They do it out of reasons like guilt. They do it out of reasons like greed. They're not doing mind control efforts on people because they're criminals. If that's the case, all the prisons would be empty since it works so well. If mind control is so powerful and so potent, why don't you just do that on every criminal and then everybody's better? You would think you're using that on those people, those who can't seem to stop touching children, can't seem to stop stalking and harassing children and making up false narratives about children. Don't you think mind control should be reserved for people like that? People who just can't stop robbing banks, they just can't stop scamming people. They don't know what it is, but they just can't get over the addiction of drugs. But you're using mind control on well-rounded people who people know were once well-rounded, however you want to put it, because there's a lot of superstars out there, for example, people just assumed went crazy. Michael Jackson didn't go crazy. None of them went crazy. But they don't want to bring up MK Ultra. How about they just be trying to turn people into who they want them to be? And they know that the brain is the focal point of any anatomy. That's the nucleus. If you control the brain, you control everything else. You think the devil don't know that? Once again, that's why they stay stalking and following and harassing influential people. They feel like they, if they overpower their person's influence, they now have those people. So it's the image at the end of the day that people fall in love with. And I'm getting people to look at something because that's still MK Ultra. You might think you've never been MK Ultra, but if somebody convinced you to believe in something like an image about somebody, you have now been MK Ultra. They just controlled your mind about somebody, and you're okay with it. You're okay with it. And you so okay with it, you're gonna believe what you believe about that person from now on for the rest of your life to the day you go to your grave. When that wasn't even your own thought about that person. Somebody implanted that inside of you. Like, let's talk about it for what it is. You're not in control of yourself. You don't impress me because you don't like somebody because you're somebody you knew don't like them. You sound childish. You sound like an easy victim for mind control. MK mind control efforts. That's how they test it out on you. If I can get this person to turn against somebody they knew their whole life, I know that I'm in the door with controlling this person's mind about anything else. I just got this person to turn on their pet. I just got this person to turn on their mama. I just got this person to turn on their daddy. When they see that you're easy to do like that, they finna start trying to control your mind about everything, sweetie. Them kind of people, it ain't hard. They like, wow, I was able to turn this person against their mama. Okay, well, I can control their mind about anything. Don't be deceived. Don't be deceived. Cause see, being deceived, that's just another form of mind control too. You can sit around and play like ain't nobody playing with your mind the whole time. Every time you hear some gossip, your whole mentality, perception of a person change. That's why I have to think deeper than image at all times. You know you are not just who you show me, and no, I am not just what I show people. When I go in public every day, the worst thing they could have did is come for me when I know they do these kind of experiments on people, just to see how far they can get, how much they can get out of that person while they're under mind control. It's stupid. 'Cause God forbid that person wake up and they start noticing that, hey, these thoughts are not mine. Hey, this energy is not mine. Hey, these emotions are not mine. Where did they come from? Thin air. So then you got to retract and do more research. Oh, maybe this came from. I do notice I look at the world different since I started hanging out with Jackie Sally. Anybody you hang out with and your natural perceptions, views, beliefs begin to change, they have now just MK Ultra you. They have now influenced you to become whatever they are, whatever they think is right, whatever they think the world should be. And all you did is hang out with them for 20 minutes. And it's literal people that go outside. I don't know why people don't believe me and prey on people like that. Like, I just want to test this person. I'm going to see if I can play with their mind. You a fool if you think it ain't some master manipulators out here who don't wake up with their goal every day. They're willing to sit up and draw 30, 40 different plans behind the scenes of how they can play with your mind. How is that not MK Ultra? Because when I went and researched what MK Ultra used to look like, these are just new modern times, new modern ways they've created to keep that going. It seems like the best gamblers make the best bets, but they don't want to bet on this. That more people, I bet more people will start waking up to MK Ultra. Yeah, they're not gonna put no money on the table about that. Cause shit, people won't even end up earning the money. They're gonna be too mad at the revelation that somebody's been playing with their mind. You shouldn't have to go to a therapist to know that. It's like a part of self-awareness to be able to pinpoint, like, how about how what's wrong? That's the real flex. Becoming so self-aware, it's hard to penetrate you. It's hard to get something by you. And they just want to take out the ones they feel like it's hard to control their mind. Like, bro, what are you gonna do when you can't control the people mind no more? Taking people out individualistically is stupid. Take yourself out. Why do you keep trying to play with people's minds? Like, I guess it all goes back to money, you know? It all goes back to money at the end of the day, but it's very sad. One of the saddest revelations when it comes to sex slaves and sex farms and any type of oppression with sex crimes. What's weird is that those are the number one people, the most oppressed people. How do you keep them oppressed? Anybody can oppress somebody for a night, for a day, but like, how do you oppress? Oh, like once you oppress them, how do you keep them there? Just like you can sell a few products, but what are you doing? What is great about your product that keep the people coming back? This is also how evil people think. People who make their money through at the expense of others, a downfall or suffering or pain. Yeah, they got to sit around and create new ways every day to keep that person oppressed. The whole time, the person caught on that they're oppressed to begin with, and you just being more revealing by continuing to expose oppressive tactics. What I'm tired of is people ignoring oppressive tactics. You say you're trying to rid the problem of pedophiles and sex trafficking, but you're not trying to rid the oppressive tactics. Like, how are you really trying to get rid of it? And yes, mind manipulation, mind control is one of the number one ways that people keep their victims from speaking out. We all know this. So let's please stop ignoring MK control or that people might be using spiritual ritualistic practices to keep people oppressed, to play with their memories, to play with their mind, to play with their perception on the future. Do they even care about their future? No, because you have scrambled their mind all up like a pan of eggs. I'm just trying to normalize self-awareness again, self-love again. This would include you knowing your mind. I wouldn't care if the smartest genius in the world try to convince you to slap your sister, to hurt your brother. If you got a strong mind, they just can't do that. That's why they keep practicing this stuff on people. You don't need nukes, guns, and knives and swords in battle if you know how to control a person's mind. You can mess around and force them to surrender, and they don't even know why they just surrendered to you. Like war is very scary, and how far people have shown us that they've worked to advance certain weapons and tools just to be all powerful. Because you got to know something like mind control tools. Any country on the globe would be interested in learning more about that. That's what's scary. But all these countries supposed to be innocent of abusing children, and that's crazy. That's just straight up more abuse to do mind control on children because their minds are already so fragile and sensitive and trying to figure out what's going on as it is, and then you turn around and throw some more mind control at them. It's so weird. You would think they use that for positive reasons. If you can control somebody's mind, make them a better person. But no, we see people come up with bipolar, schizophrenic, all kind of mental health they had never been known to have before. All because somebody want to keep them silent. Like this is stupid. Thank you guys for tuning in to another segment here. You will make it TV. We'll be back with a part two on this topic. And when I do, make sure to bring your own thoughts, comments, and opinions to the topic and to the table. Thank you guys for tuning in. Remember to hit that subscribe bell and like button to show your support.